Welcome back, everyone, to Lore of the Shadow, where during our first season we studied the shadows that were being cast by Angmar. Then in the second season we studied the shadows beneath the darkness of Moria as well as beneath the trees of Mirkwood. In the third season we looked at the shadows that were being brewed by Saruman in his treachery. Now, here at the start of our fourth season, we are looking at the shadows of the paths of the dead, but even further beyond that, into the shadows being cast by Mordor and what it's going to be doing to us in the next few months. So here we are, right now in the sunshine here at Dunharrow, before we head out into the shadows, and I believe you summoned me, Eowyn?
I am glad you have come with such haste, for these troubles weigh heavily upon me.
I am glad that you have come in haste, for these troubles weigh heavily upon me, and I do not know how they may be overthrown. It is my uncle's choice to ride to Minas Tirith, and thereby satisfy the vows of his forefathers. But why should he not ride for Gondor with every sword that he can command, either by oath or by love? It is folly to allow proven warriors to abandon my uncle's cause, lest it be doomed by their absence. And yet, in the early hours, Aragorn and his kinsmen departed Dunharrow for the paths of the dead. He spoke of need, but I can see no need on that road, save that of the yawning tomb that hopes to be filled. The dead men in Dunharrow do not suffer the living to pass. Several of the men saw him go, and speak words of despair. Find these men, and set their minds aright if you can. And when you return, do the same for me, Pinelore. I do not think you can, but I must wear a brave face for the men, and will give in to sorrow for their sake. I will not give in for their sake. Okay, so I need to talk to Dorloff, then Bosa, then Cedric, and then return to Eowyn. Alright. And what is this? Okay, that's the introduction to West Gondor. We will do that after this first round. So let us go over here. Here is Cedric. Tell me about yourself. My name is Cedric, and I am a man of the Westfold. I have long served Erkenbrand, and have ridden with him on many campaigns. I rejoice that the Erlinges will soon ride for Gondor, but I expected more soldiers to arrive by now. Well, okay, that is true. And what did you see at Adoras? 2 days past, I was at Adoras for the weapon take as Theoden King commanded. Some few men had already arrived when a great winged shadow flew over Adoras and swooped low upon the very roof of Meduseld. The bravest men I have known were frozen in fear at the sound of its terrible call. Well, I could guess what that was. The shadow departed after that. See, look at that, we have shadows coming already. But Gandalf knew it was not safe to gather at Adoras, and he counseled us to hurry at once to Dunharrow. Okay, well, yep, that's a problem. And what can you tell me about Gondor? I have only been to Gondor once, when I was very young, but the memory remains very strong with me to this day. My father took a cart with some trade goods along the Great West Road into Anorion, but on this occasion he allowed me and my brothers to come along. I remember standing in a parapet in the whole city, listening to the banners snapping in the wind. I always expected to see Minas Tirith again, but it never happened. Now it seems that I will see the White City once again after all. Yes, and unfortunately in battle, yes, but in war, yes.
The grim northerners departed Dunharrow at first light.
They departed at first light, and did not stay to explain their course. I would think them cowardly had I not seen the road that they took, south, along the dim Holt road. That way lies death. Yes, he has reasons for taking that road, I'm pretty sure. I do not doubt he had reasons, friend, but it is clear that his loyalty is not the Theoden king. We will have need of every man if we are to ride to Minas Tirith, and my king commands, and I see that we are cheated of a powerful fighting force by Aragorn's choice. I count the chance of our success against the enemy less and less with each sword that he takes with him into the mountain. I saw the winged beast over Edoras. I know what dangers we face. Okay. So he sort of plants the seeds for the questions that I asked over there. Okay, so let's see. How about over on this way? Yes, here is our second person we need to speak with.
Men are still arriving at Dunharrow from all corners of the mark.
But I don't think this will be enough men. I rode forth from the Hornburg as the king commanded, and most hamlets and villages responded to his call with clear voices and proud hearts. But this day I see few of those who spoke loudest. On my return from Forlaw in Wildemore, I was beset by an orc raiding party. The injuries I sustain will keep me from riding in the king's train, to my frustration and disappointment. Swords and spears need men to wield them, and that resource is in short supply. I say men, but the blood of Theoden King's niece Eowyn burns for Rohan, and she would fight bravely for the kingdom, were it permitted. Alas, it is not so, and the both of us will be kept from doing what we desire. For I am a man injured, and she is a woman unwounded. Unhappy fortune. All right, and where are you from? I am Bosa, and I make my home in Edoras. I have been in the service of Theoden King for many years, summer and winter alike. I have worn this armor proudly for all that time, but never so proudly as the Battle of the Hornburg, where I stood at the side of my countrymen in defense of the keep, and afterwards I rode through out the mark, bearing the king's summons for the weapon. Is he one of the people that I sent out when I had that quest a few episodes ago? It was on my return that I received this injury, and now the king has decided that I am not well enough to ride with him to Gondor. Oops, sorry about that. Let's see. What can you tell me about Eowyn? Oh, she is her brother's match in her love for Rohan and her skill at arms. But Eomer is permitted to ride in the war, and she is not. She has my sympathies, for with this injury I too have been cast aside by those I wish only to protect. Yeah, and Eowyn has the double situation where she is technically the second in line for the crown, and I know that Corey Olsen, for example, sometimes talks that every king needs is an heir and a spare, meaning the heir is, of course, going to be one of the most important soldiers on the battlefield, and the spare is to stay alive just in case. So Eowyn is sort of in that situation here. And are you going to be all right? Oh, these injuries make it difficult to ride a horse. I made it the rest of the way only through the careful guidance and measured gait of my steed, and I could not hope to fight at the end of the journey. This makes me merely a burden to ride to Gondor, but a tremendous weakness in the line upon our arrival. My presence would harm the king more than my absence. My body will heal in time, but it is my mind that will hurt the longest. If I cannot fight for my king when he goes forth to Gondor. Oh yes. Well, we'll be careful. You might be needed here, just in case things go wrong. Let's see. How about... Ah, here we are. Number 3. We have here Darloff.
This road leads to the Grimmerberg. Why would anyone go to that haunted mountain?
And why would anyone tread the paths beneath it? That's not bravery. Only folly would lead my feet there. Well, I'm sure that Aragorn considers his reason for braving the road to be sufficient. I hope that he's not wrong. It seems a great shame to allow a skilled warrior to disappear into such a place when he could use his talents elsewhere, at other battles. Well, I suppose so. Let's see. So tell me about the Drimmerberg. I would sooner tell you of it than go there myself, save for the king's command. It is called the Haunted Mountain, and it is said that the dead men of ancient times live there still, crying out for vengeance upon those who still draw breath of the living. None can pass that way. A dead man could walk the paths beneath the mountain and come out into the moonlight of the Blackroot Vale in Gondor, but that is said only by fools and braggarts, and not by honest folk. So you're saying it is dangerous there. So what do you know about Gondor? I know that Theoden King plans to gather many thousands of swords and spears, and then ride from Minas Tirith in satisfaction of his ancient bonds and loyalty and friendship. Our two kingdoms have long been allies, since the days of Eor, and we will stand together against our enemies. I'm afraid that is the extent of my knowledge. I've never traveled to Gondor. Well, till now at least. Well, now, let's see if I can find Eowyn. I presume that she is still at her tent. And see what she has to say about all of... Oh, yes, that's right. I'm supposed to give her comforting words or something like that. Well, we'll see. Looks like we have somebody here who's requested an audience.
We are plagued with ill fortune. A child may have followed Aragorn into the paths of the dead.
An encampment of this size is bound to attract the attention of children and others who live near. That much I expected. Plus, if people have evacuated here also, then I would expect there to be plenty of children in the area. But I did not expect even children to act in such reckless, foolhardy fashion. You haven't been around enough children, I see. This boy tells me one of his friends, Elfdeg, has been followed Aragorn into the paths of the dead. I thought it was a mere boast of a child, but none have seen Elfdeg today. I dispatched a number of men to find him, but they too have not returned. Elfdeg is the grandson of Elfhelm. We cannot have him lost in this fashion. Elfhelm's grandson. Okay. Then that means we've been with his father some. Okay then, let's talk to Radwine. What should she have? Okay, just the introduction to West Gondor. Actually, let's...
What business have you with the Rohirrim?
Well, Matt, we have much to speak of. Oh, is that all you wanted to say? Oh, well.
I did not mean for it to go so far.
We watched the men ride to the mountain in the morning, and then Elfdeg challenged me to follow them, and I did the same to him, and before you could say Helm Hammerhand, we were right up at the dark door. Oh boy, I returned to camp after that, and I thought that I was being He followed me at my heels, but now he's gone, and no one has seen him. Whoops!
If I bring you to the entrance, will you enter the mountain and search for Elfdag?
Yes, you're a hero, are you not? I overheard some of the men speaking of your deeds, and by their account, you seem to be an accomplished adventurer. If I bring you to the entrance, will you enter the mountain and search for Elfdag? Well, I'll have to go there in order to get the Gondor anyway, I guess. I will follow you in. I promise! Oh, not follow you in. Okay. Good. Yes, just stay outside. Let me know when you're ready, and I will bring you to the place. If you have a fellowship of like-minded adventurers, well, I've got a bog guardian. Yes, if you have a fellowship or a bog guardian, bring them along too. I dare say that they will be a place for them as well. All right. Okay, so let's accept the quest.
I will bring you to the dark door, and I will wait outside for you.
I hope you'll be able to find Elfdag. Yeah, you'll stay outside, right?
Imholt Road leads to the Dark Door and the paths beneath the haunted mountain where the dead walk. Few dare to go that way.
Oh boy. Yeah, I can understand why. This does seem to be a nasty place in here. Looks like... Oh, well, dear, I guess this is one of the men that went searching for Elfdag? Have you come to seeking Elfdag? I ventured beneath the mountain with several of my men, but we ran afoul with the dead, and only I survived the encounter. I fled the cavernous room where they fell, but I feel no shame in it. It is folly to come here. There was a passage that we thought to search in the southwest wall of the cavernous room, but we were set upon before we could venture that way. If you seek Elfdag, that's a good place to begin. Okay, you said to the southwest. Okay, fine. Oh, wait, before you go, are you journeying by yourself, or do you have a fellowship near at hand? Speak to me again when you give me your answer. Okay. In other words, do you want to run the solo version or the fellowship? It's rather strange that they have you talk to an NPC in the instance itself to ask whether you're running it solo or with a fellowship. Well, let's see. Alright, so I will succeed by myself. Well, and my little bog guardian too. I hope that you truly are skilled, my friend. For my part, I am glad to have escaped from that tunnel with my life. Oh, I'll be fine, I hope. Well, good luck to you. Tread carefully, for this place is of great danger. I guess he needs to catch his breath before he runs like a rabbit. Or he's waiting for me to... see all these spirits flying all over the place. That doesn't exactly give me a great boost of confidence. Speaking of spirits... Yeah, I think in the Fellowship version you get more spirits and they come together rather than separately. Let's see. How about... Do I... actually, well, I wasn't sure whether that's how much dread that gave. Okay, so what I do want to do, though, is to put up some scrolls. But these are level 96. Okay, so we'll see how much dread that gives. Okay, here's the dread. Okay, it's only dread one. Okay, fine. Then I'll use the glass. And now we continue down the road. I'm supposed to eventually... Well, now it's turning southeast rather than southwest. Doing that just to just to troll me, aren't they? Where they come down, circle around you, saying, hey, 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 hey. Right, even though he saw me do it, he said, no, no, we'll come at you one at a time. Probably because I chose the solo version. Oh, a carrot cake. I need to get some better food. It's probably a carrot cake that... I think that these are some of the carrot cakes that we received as a gift back when Warner Brothers bought Turbine, and so we're the publisher of the game. So one of those lotteries, it was either through one of their lotteries or some sort of gift on there that they had that. They had all these carrots. I think it was sort of a Bugs Bunny joke in there. One of Walder's companions lies here, a victim of the dead. So, no, okay, I did. No text there on the matter. All right, fine. We will just do this. And get through there. Okay, good. Your turn. Yeah, they're very quick in noticing you once their companion stops flitting around back and forth. I guess they're saying, well, I'm sure they'll handle it. Right, wrong. Good. Some of Walder's companions lie beside the unsettling stream. And your turn. Okay, the thing is about to turn. Okay. Yeah, the road is about to turn towards the west. Good. Yeah. Sad, a bit unsettling when one of those things comes down and starts fondling you or whatever they're doing to you. Not exactly sure, but it is definitely very much in my space. Okay, there we go. Another one. Another of Waldira's companions lies here, his outstretched hands pointing. Well, they're pointing somewhere. You see a movement in a tunnel to the west. Is it Elf Dog? Okay, well, we will find out in a moment. I suspect that that also in the Fellowship version, is the Fellowship version really a small Fellowship version, or is it a full Fellowship version? That's a interesting question. I think I've come in here with 2 or 3 in the past. Ah, well, there's a dying soldier. He's kneeling. My wounds are severe, but we did not check this tunnel. Yep. All right. Well, I'll check the tunnel then. The last survivor. Well, I hope that Ulfdog is at least alive. Up. Up. Oh, more of these. How about if I try them both? Just would that help? No, the other one doesn't even feel. Is the other one green or something? Yeah, he's green. Okay, no wonder. Alright, so that's how they handle that here. So it definitely wouldn't be green in the Fellowship version, I'm sure. Alright, so let's head on in here. You have found Elfdog. He cowers by the court ahead, frightened by the dead. Indeed, paths of the dead. Ugh. Ker Izil. Oh my! Are you a lore master? Are you here to help me? Yeah. Watch out! The dead are everywhere! Even if you can't see them. Well, we'll just have to take care of them. And keep everything... Oh. And now you... Let's get our morale pool back up. Okay, just in time, alright. I think I have to get to my more serious skills now. No, I forgot. That's only an interrupt now. Ah! That's the problem. I'm still not used to how these things... Oh, actually, I kept my morale up. How nice. Oh! Is that all of them? It is impossible to say for certain. You are a great adventurer, I can tell, but I think that we should leave at once. These dead men won't stay away for long, no matter how often they are defeated. We will speak once we are above ground, yes? I overheard some things that you will want to know. Okay, well, let's go then. Well, I hope this doesn't leave you scarred for life.
You are not going to tell my grandfather, are you?
I had everything in hand, but I am certain that my grandfather would not think so. If you tell him of this adventure of mine, he is bound to lock me up in Underharrow, and the wife of that thing does not appreciate young lads or lasses underfoot. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, she always scowls when she sees my friends and me about. I dare say that we would be safer neath the Dwimmerbergs than in the house of Ellen Fremedon. Oh boy, maybe I better not tell Fremedon that. Elfdag's expression is one of horrified fear, and you quickly assure him that he would keep his freedom if he tells you what he saw. Okay, well, it was dark, and there were shadows flittering all about, but if you really strained your ears, you could hear whispers and sighs, the voices of the dead. I gathered from their talk that the men had come through hours before. Oh, the man is before, and he claimed that he could free them from their curse. Some of the dead followed him and left in his wake, but others of the dead did not believe his claim, and they stayed behind. They are especially cruel, and they have abandoned any hope of escaping the curse. These are now the Ruthless dead, and they hate the living and the dead alike. Oh boy, wonderful. I suppose I'm glad to be back above ground after all. Yep. And it sounds like these Ruthless dead are even worse than Ellen Fremenberg, if you ask me. Fremedon, yes.
You have exceeded your reputation this day.
I did not relish the thought of telling Elfhelm that his grandson had disappeared beneath the haunted mountain. Perhaps I would have had my brother do it. Yes, but his grumbling would have been insufferable. Oh, boy. Let's see. Oh, some nice shoulder pads. Oh, and I have to deal with essences also. Oh, well, is this when they introduced essences? I guess this is when they introduced essences. Oh, joy.
I ask you to travel the paths of the dead, and by that way, come into Gondor.
Elfdag's adventure beneath the Dwimmerberg may have been ill-advised, but it has given us warning of a new danger. Aragorn has passed into Gondor, and it seems that Elfdag's report that he is followed by some of the number of the dead that believe that he can offer them redemption. I cannot say if it is be true or if that's be false, but as long as the dead men believe it, Aragorn need not fear them. But this other group, these ruthless dead, if they have forever cast their lot in with Sauron, then Aragorn will have no safety from them. Neither will the folk of Gondor, and our friend's passage may have planted a dangerous seed in the minds of the ruthless dead. With no hope of redemption, what reason is there to remain within the mountain? If you have no desire to atone for your evils, what will prevent you from adding to the number of your sins? I ask that you travel the paths of the dead, and by that way come into Gondor. The people there must be protected, and if they cannot be saved from the threat of the ruthless dead, they must flee to places of safety. And if any still exist in this world, if any safe places, well, sounds like it's time for us to head in the paths of the dead, which is what we'll be doing in the next episode of Lore of the Shadow.